sector, and most importantly, how to save this sector, and more importantly, how to save this sector in this region, in the South. Okay? Stick around. This conversation is going to interest you and perhaps help you perfect the plans you have for the coming year. Do not forget we're live on Facebook and YouTube at Nigeria Info PH. So drop your comments there. We'll read them live. The question is, how can we save the manufacturing sector in Nigeria? We have a manufacturing industry that needs saving. Clearly, from what I just told you, how can we do that? How can we save the manufacturing industry? We're also on X. Yes, you can share your thoughts on X. That's former Twitter at Nigeria Info PH. And you can WhatsApp, send your WhatsApp message to 0809 030 6416. I'll take that slowly. 0809 030 6416. How can we save our manufacturing industry? That's my question today. We're going to get back right to it. But first, let's look at Market Watch. So I wanted to start with the one that is trending right now, and that's the fact that the Supreme Court, we've waited for this particular case, and yet we had to go to court for it. And so the Supreme Court has made that call, and that call is about the note, the Naira note, at a time that it was desperately needed because of all the hoarding that we've heard going on in states like Akwa Ibom State and some other states where people are already hoarding the Naira. Well, there's no need for that because the Supreme Court just laid it down, and those old Naira notes will keep being our spending buddies until they say otherwise. Let's put it that way. So, that much talked about December 31, that's on hold for now. That December 31 deadline, that will be on hold for now. Don't forget that in March, the Supreme Court said they're pushing the deadline to December 31, and now they've said that's on hold for now. I think that's good news, especially as a business owner. That kind of gives you an idea of what, I think that, I mean, when we went to the market recently, we saw that a lot of businesses are complaining, low patronage, and, and then there's this seeming cash crunch that I also heard about. So yeah, we'll probably not have to deal with that this December. A far cry from what was experienced last year, and that's good news. And it's good to always start the Talking Figures show with good news, right? So yeah, so no more the hoarding headaches, that we experience. We're not going to. So no, if you were even hoarding your cash, repent, bring it out, and let's all spend together and have fun this festive period. And then we go to the budget. Of course, you heard that the 2024 budget has just been presented by the president, and he calls this budget of renewed hope. And it's actually puts a spotlight on two big issues: national defense and internal security. So it's like he's waving the flag for a major revamp of our security and set up, to amp up our law enforcement. The goal, of course, to save lives, safeguard lives and property and all those hard-earned investments sprinkled across our country. So he's going to invest a lot, or we are going to invest a lot next year in protection and security. If your business operates on Nigerian soil, a focus on national defense and security is a big deal, because a safer environment means smoother business operations and more confidence for investors. So pay close attention to it. It matters what it is that is being presented at the National Assembly today. All right. So President Tinubu is also putting a shield around investment. That's also what it means. So whether you're running a small shop or a big business, knowing that there is a push to safeguard what you've built is a solid backup plan, something you can work with and go to the market with, because you're planning to spend so much on security. He actually wants to put 27.5 trillion budget in action right from the first day of 2024. And so for business owners, it signals a sense of urgency in getting things rolling. So don't shift your plan till second quarter. Start execution in first quarter of next year. All right. So yeah, I hope that gives the renewed hope vibe that this budget is called. I do hope it also reflects on business owners as stated during the presentation. And of course, on the Market Watch, I end with this one from the aviation sector. The International Air Transport Association just said that the industry has not recovered since 2020, since COVID. He said the aviation sector has been struggling since then. It's yet to recover. And that's a reality, because while so many other sectors may have moved on and a lot of their challenges is hinged on fuel subsidy removal, the aviation sector, I mean, this is an international body telling us now that the aviation sector, including Nigeria's home, Nigeria as well, it took a hefty blow in 2020, and about $7.7 billion in 2020 was lost, and so they are yet to recover. Nigeria lost 21 billion each month when COVID-19 slammed and came on us, the pandemic. 21 billion each month. No, it will take more than 3 years to recover. I agree. So the fact remains that when a sector like the aviation sector struggles, it has a ripple effect. So bear that in mind in making decisions, especially as the year winds down. Do know that the aviation sector, and I don't know if that's a good excuse as to all the drama we've been seeing in the aviation sector recently. We've seen airplanes skid off the runway this year. We've seen a crash that the minister even survived. We've seen the recent one that just happened where people were trying to go to Abuja and ended up in Asaba. While some find it very funny, can that be a good excuse for, this? I mean, what is being said about the aviation sector right now, the fact that they are yet to recover, is that a good excuse? I don't know. But that's where I'd like to end the Market Watch for today, as we get into the big elephant in the room, talking about the manufacturing sector. We'll get back and we'll go on, we'll get right to it, because like I said, I have a guest in the studio and I cannot wait for you to meet my guest. And that's it for Market Watch. Time for Insider Tips. So the economy of Nigeria is said to be a middle income, mixed income and emerging market with expanding manufacturing. We have sectors like financial, service sector, communication sector, tech sector, entertainment is also there. But the Nigerian manufacturing sector is dominated by the production of cement, building materials, food and beverages, tobacco, chemicals, fertilizer, wood. I don't know if textile is still in the mix, but yeah, we are doing quite good when it comes to these three subsectors. That's food, cement, food and beverage and cement. And we contribute a whole lot when it comes to that sector. But then, the manufacturers are struggling. Like I said at the beginning of the show, they are struggling. And we see some of our favorite products are quick disappearing from the shelves. What could this mean for us? Because this subsector is responsible for about 10% total GDP annually. So if we can fix this sector, if we can save this sector, we are going to, it will mean that the economy would improve in ways that the oil sector cannot do alone, isn't it? So how can we save our manufacturing sector? I have in the studio Elder Vincent Okuko, Chairman, Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Rivers Bayelsa States Branch. Hello, good afternoon, Elder. Thank you for joining me.
Good afternoon, Chairman.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for joining me, Elder. I also have Chibuzo Eze. I got it right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I also have Chibuzo Eze in the studio. They are both from the manufacturer. You're the spokesperson, actually, right?
Yeah,
the spokesperson.
The chairman.
He's the chairman, and you are the spokesperson. Is that correct?
The chairman is the spokesperson.
Chairman.
Chairman is the spokesperson.
What's your own designation in the
The
association?
executive secretary.
Okay, all of us will call it a spokesperson. Anyway, Chibu says is Executive Secretary of Manufacturing Association of Nigeria, Rivers Bayelsa States branch. And then I have the chairman, Elder Vincent Okuku here as well. And I'm going to just start with what the non-Nigerian told me. I told you that the non-Nigerian said the way they do business, manufacturing in Nigeria, they do not utilize practices that make them operate efficiently. Do you agree with this or not?
I think the person is talking out of ignorance. The reason is simple. The reason is simple. The most difficult environment to work is the Nigerian environment. If you are not very efficient, there's no way you can even last. For a short time, you will be out of production, out of operation. Nigerian manufacturers do their best to see how they can survive. Remember, there's the major principle of manufacturing is adding value to raw material for the interest and the satisfaction of the end user. And because we have an open market where we have so much competitors, if your product does not meet up with the need of the average consumer, the end user, definitely you are out of business. So a manufacturer in Nigeria just have to be very efficient for you to survive. That's the truth.
Now, what are the key challenges that manufacturers in Rivers and Bayelsa currently face? How do these challenges impact the growth of the sector? I'm asking you now, Chibuzo.
Okay, so some of the major challenges that our members in these states, Rivers and Bayelsa states, face include forex. That is at the top of our list of problems. We also have the high cost of power supply.
So foreign exchange, huh?
Yeah, foreign exchange.
That's like the what of them all.
Is the major issue right now because raw materials cannot come in. A lot of our raw materials are being sourced outside the country. We've been working hard with agencies like Raw Materials Research and Development Council to see how we can come up with alternatives. But until that problem is fixed, until that solution arrives, we still have a big problem on our hands. We need to find a way to get these raw materials to the manufacturers so that they can be able to produce, and then we can be on our way to self-sufficiency.
Now that's interesting. What are the challenges, Chairman, do you find that the sector faces?
Well, like first, as you mentioned, the fund, which is one of the usual major thing. Then the conditions for even obtaining this fund, that is the interest rate. When the interest rate becomes too high, it affects other segment of production. We talk about the cost of bringing the raw material from wherever you are getting it. Then, as you are aware, we have also this bad road network that increases the cost of raw materials landing in. I'm putting Rivers State in particular.
Okay, now we're going to go on a short break, Elder. When we return, we delve deep into all of these issues. More importantly, how to fix them. Yes, it's still talking figures, and we'll be right back. figures. Yeah, talking figures on 92.3 Nigeria Info FM. I am Chioma Izewanfo, your host for today, and we'll be looking at the manufacturing sector right after we talked about the market watch. So before we went on the break, our guest, that's the chairman of Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Rivers Bayelsa State Branch, Elder Vincent Okuku, and Chibuzo Eze. Mr. Chibuzo Eze is executive secretary of the same association. They've been walking us through the manufacturing sector, especially as we have it here in the South, and they've talked about the challenges we've been having. Forex is the ogapatapata of them all. That's what they talked about, and he was still on it before we went on that break. And now that we are back, they're going to continue to talk about these challenges, but more importantly, we're focusing on how to save the manufacturing sector so that the next time you go to your shelves, you find your favorite products and they won't keep disappearing, because that's the reality right now. So how can we save our manufacturing sector? That's my question for today. If you have my answer, you can call 0817-923-0002, and you can also call 0817-923-0003. We also have a WhatsApp number. The WhatsApp number is 0809-030-6416. That number, do not call this one. Just send a message. I'll read it live on air. How can we save our manufacturing sector so that our economy can be revived? I mean, you had the president presenting the budget. His very first budget presentation happened today, and so much has been said. His priorities has also been made known. How can we save our manufacturing sector? That's the question. I'm waiting for your responses. But then we get back to our guest and ask that you continue what you were highlighting when it comes to the challenges the sector has been facing.
Yeah. Like I was speaking before we went on short break.
Yes.
Access to Forex being one of the key principles. Outside that, we now have also the problem of high cost of energy.
You know, we talked about energy last week. And the realities are really clear. And then I talked about it, and I said for factories, imagine going to a factory that's supposed to be on, machines moving, and it's silent because there is no electricity.
The light gone off. And if you decide to have an alternative, the cost of the alternative, which is powering your plant with diesel, you know how expensive it is. Even the gas, which we could have said is an alternative. The gas is sold and converted in dollar. That's we pay a dollar rate of the gas value. Which these are things which should have been deliberately tailored to assist manufacturers.
We're going to get to that, but let's dwell on this. These challenges and highlight most of them.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm seeing here that taxis one of the key.
Then when we go to multiple taxation,
not just that because I was even thinking it was rising taxes, but multiple taxes. So we have all kinds of human beings who come asking for all kinds of
different type of taxes. In fact, at their door you see the man notice raining down as if
facility.
And the assessment, you're not in the. Well, our consolation is that we've just been informed that the state government want to harmonize taxes.
But they've been saying it since.
But like you rightly said, we've been hearing it since 1905, and we are hopeful that
this time around, okay,
the governor will do something on this multiple taxation.
Anyways, we want to take call. You're hearing these challenges. Can we save our manufacturing sector, and how? Hello, good afternoon.
If government invests, the recurrent employment and the economy will be buoyant because of hello.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like what our person there, managing a man. The major thing is you cannot say you will not get them. If you establish a foreign firm come to Nigeria to establish a company or manufacturing industry, by the time you buy diesel, because there's no electricity to empower those things, and the diesel, if they are being checkmated and taken care of, the companies will be flowing very well and the money people come. You know that about 50% of manufacturing companies have run away from Nigeria because of all these industries I've mentioned.
So how can we save the manufacturing sector? Can you hear me?
That is afterthought.
Can you hear me, Elder?
Yes.
Elder, the question is, how do you know how we can save the sector now that we are very clear that the realities are?
That's what I say. I've proposed a solution.
I didn't hear it.
Government should invest on those manufacturers. Give them loan. And give them car loan and this one. If you give a manufacturing company about 100,
I'm not sure why. But I said grant, he said loan. Is that feasible?
Well, like we mentioned, grants in particular addressed to these challenges, the energy and fund. This is, yes, to some extent it will save the manufacturers.
To an extent. Have you not ever received loans before? How did that go?
I think there is no provision for loan to any manufacturer except you go to the banks and pick up the loan.
The government. But I mean, I know that man has been engaging with the government for a very long time. You mean the government has never made available grants and loans for man?
None.
For
I can
real?
tell it. Yes.
No administration, federal or states, not even local, has ever made grants or loans available.
Loans and grants that are given through what called the Bank of Industry has its own bottlenecks.
Yes. Let's hear Ruben from LMA. Hello, Ruben. Good afternoon.
Chairman, good afternoon. Just like the person on the pseudo mention of multi-input taxation, I think that's one of the major challenges the manufacturers are having in Nigeria. Let me take that one, the area of import tax. I think the federal government needs to come in and reduce that import tax. The amount. You know, this,
sorry, did you say import tax? We're talking manufacturing, not importation.
Yes.
Yes.
I think higher import tax will encourage industrialization.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, it's affecting manufacturers in Nigeria. So
how?
Manufacturers are saying they rely on. Okay, let me explain to you. Manufacturers rely on foreign products to survive.
Oh,
they rely
okay.
On material. They rely on
raw material.
On the raw material.
Okay.
Are you with me?
Yes.
Then the tax they paid on importation of all this raw material is high. I think government need to look into that area, please, and also stabilize the naira.
Stabilize the naira.
Reduce the import taxes to help manufacturers.
Okay, thank you, Ruben, calling from LMA, and he said a lot of things. Let's hear Aka. Oh, I was about to call Aka Jehovah, also from LMA, actually. Called in from LMA and I lost that one. Please call back. Thank you. 0817-923-0007. You can also call 0817-923-0009. The WhatsApp message remains 0809-030-6416. They've never had loans before. The government, both federal, state, and local government, has never made loans available for the manufacturers. It's cringe-worthy to hear, actually. Like, I cannot believe that we've been speaking all this English over the years. I mean, when it comes to saving the sector, and it's dancing a different tone due to the removal of subsidy. And then I'm hearing that there's never been any form of government intervention when it comes to the manufacturing sector. That's really shocking to hear, Chairman. I'm yet to recover from it. And then you said the BOI industry, there are bottlenecks. And so that means most manufacturers do not even consider it as a place to run to.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I think Aka Jehovah has called back, and let's hear from Aka Jehovah. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, how can we save the manufacturing sector?
Yes. The real team that is with you in the office there is the people that will run around, get people that are serious for manufacturing, inspect their whatever they are doing. Then if the fund, the most important thing is the fund. Fund is approved like grants from government. Why China is being known worldwide now is because of their government. Look into these small manufacturing companies and see them. And those are the right people to carry out this job. The one inspect places, that's the grant. Everybody is hitting on grant. Yes, but if you get it, you have to be close to to make sure that government will grant take us. So it will monitor that to put the manufacturing sector proper. That's one. But two small taxation. Federal government should do well to be fund. Now it's not from this. It's not a problem. People have done read the community touching ground. To make this simple and done.
Okay, before one from Bob, and then we get back to our hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, hello. How can we save the manufacturing sector?
Yes, I've been listening to I'm providing then new products.
Thank you, Bob.
So maybe give them
multiple taxation.
You have ABCD tax for this, like for 20 more. It will not was tax regime, and now plan is production. Because for instance, your product you cannot unilaterally change the price any day you like because you are the one producing that. No, if you fix a product price for 1 kobo, the distributors pick it at 1 kobo and maybe sell 1.1 kobo. Then suddenly, without short notice, the distributor come back after selling without short notice. The distributor come back after selling that one. You tell him because of a tax that just come in on your assets. But take note, when the manufacturer is manufacturing, he creates employment. The employees that are employed will pay tax known as PAYE. The products that they are even selling will pay VAT. So you see, tax are still coming back, funds are still coming back to the government. Say, create the enabling environment. Deliberately earmark fund to support manufacturing at a low interest rate. Because if we can produce at a reasonable cost, we can compete with our traders who import finished product. But the situation where the cost of production is higher than a finished product brought into the country, it just puts you out of business. And why in particular in Rivers State I'm begging that the state government should deliberately take an action is that we have the African Trade Agreement which is coming up, wherein all manufacturers in Africa have the freedom to manufacture and sell in any part of the continent at a low, an easy access method. If we do not encourage our manufacturers here and now, you might discover that Rivers State can be a dumping ground for products manufactured in other parts of the continent. And when products come down here, they are not creating jobs for us. We are consuming and encouraging the employment of people in another factory in another country, which is a minus for us. And no amount of money we spend in buying arms and bullets and manpower that can secure us if we have the steaming youths who are coming up and there is no job. When there is job, security will definitely come naturally. Unemployed youth will not talk about going for crime.
Does it mean you disagree with the president when they say they are prioritizing national defense next year with the next year's budget?
If you prioritize national defense without job creation, are you going to shoot the unemployed youth when they are hungry? That is the truth. When you create job for the people, then there's a good reason for them not to even think negatively. then the minimum fund we spend on security will be enough for us. Before this period, we have take the population of the police army. You see that there were more than the number of police and army we had 10 years ago. But you can see that as at now they overstretched because the crime rate has increased. So what we are begging is
fixing the manufacturing sector
is a key to national security.
All right, so we're going to go to WhatsApp now, and then we come back to the phone lines. Okay, let me take a phone call, and then I come to the WhatsApp, and then is it Bob? Okay, if it's Bob, I've spoken to Bob, but Bob is calling back again. So let me go to those that have not read their messages. On WhatsApp, I have Eric Chooks. Eric Chooks saying, Choma, a major inhibitor to manufacturing in Nigeria is debt of affordable electricity and multiple taxation by political leaders and their foot soldiers. I'm going to say, I'll leave out the other one you mentioned and just say foot soldiers. What do you think about this, Chubuzi, or Chibuzo rather?
All right, yeah.
When you look at the multiple taxation by political leaders, so that means there's a political will situation there that has created the multiple taxation situation.
Okay, I think we've been in a system where there's been a lot of people trying to settle themselves with different things. So, for example, we cover Rivers and Bayelsa states. Before the elections, we had issues coming up with regards to some road taxes. And when we investigated, we found out that, okay, these road taxes that came up were not exactly legitimate. They were used to settle some people that helped them in the election period. So you end up seeing a lot of these issues coming up in different states and different levels of government. I think political will is very important. We really need to come together. We need to we constantly engage with the government to always remind them of the kind of policies that are necessary for us to move forward. Without these policies, I think we're actually in trouble. There's no money. There's no amount. You're not even going to have any source for you to share. You don't have any money to share, so we might just end up. At some point, nobody's going to give you loans. The international community will start giving us loans. So I don't know how we want to survive if we don't focus on building our own capacity.
Our own capacity. All right, let's take this call from Dakuku. Dakuku from Eche. Hello, Dakuku. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, madam. This is Dakuku from Akokeche.
I hear you. How can we save the manufacturing sector?
So, in that manufacturing sector, listen to me, my sister.
I'm listening.
The major problem of it is that that's why most of them leave that multiple taxation from the political leaders and others. Listen, let me tell you. A manufacturer may manufacture something, getting vehicle to send it to locate another location. You see, come to the road, you see police, community boys collecting money from the taxation. How much are they going to realize after everything? That is a problem. This price of fuel and diesel, which is they used to manufacture, how much increase? That is a to manufacture. They cannot be able to get on their. I was able to see a vehicle that tracking the man. They were too. They pay this. I said, why? They said they'll beat me. I said, you need to be I'm a river smart. How can you beat a man like this, moving with the and you just send the message? How much are people collecting? So the political leaders are probably going to see what is happening. All those women said there. You know what they collected from them, from CDC to this. They cannot be able to say. That's why you see most of the manufacturers today are living up. They cannot be able to meet up. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dakuku. It's so much said already, and I've tried my best to take notes today, and so much has been highlighted when it comes to how we can save the manufacturing sector. We're going to go on a short break soon. We'll get back to that short break. We wrap up with final thoughts from the chairman, executive secretary, from the chairman and the executive secretary of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. The question is still, how can we save the manufacturing sector? A lot has been deduced from the conversations of today. One is very clear. Grants will not be feasible, but low interest loans would be. Another one is that tax holidays may not be feasible, but harmonizing taxes would do. take away matching ground humans. And then that brings it to how matching ground, when you think about the history of matching ground, you see that the concept of trying to take care of the host community that led to what we now see known as matching ground. So should there be some sort of regulation or something that goes around ensuring because when you say take out matching ground completely, and what happens? Because it means that some manufacturers may renege on trying to take care of their host community. So how can we ensure that there's a balance? All right. And so the issue of electricity also came up a lot during this conversation today. How can should the government...
A clarion call to celebrate and honor our royal colossus.
Thank you for staying tuned. Yeah, we had to go on that quick break and we're wrapping up now. Final thoughts, Chairman. Final thoughts in a minute.
Yeah. First of all, we use the opportunity to thank the state governor and ask him to keep to his promise of harmonizing the tax so that manufacturers can operate and in an enabling environment whereby there will be no cause for molestation. And then while on the national level, we're asking that a fund be allocated whereby manufacturers can take a loan on a lower interest, if possible, single digits.
Okay. Executive Secretary?
Okay, so I think my chairman has said most of it, but these things that we've been engaging with government on, it's not news. It's not something that we started talking to them about today. We didn't start yesterday. We've been talking to them for a while. So I'd like to borrow from a verse in the Bible, Proverbs 11:14, which tells us that Where there is no guidance, a nation falls. But in abundance of counselors, there is safety.
All right.
So we need the government to actually listen to us. We are the experts in the industry. If they really want us to move forward, they need to consider our views and really take them seriously.
Okay, that's Executive Secretary, Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Rivers Bayelsa State Branch, Chibuzo Eze. And then we also had the chairman of the association, Elder Vincent Okuku. Thank you, man, for being in the studio and sharing your realities with us. And we hope it gets better. And I hope you've been heard loud and clear. My name is Choma Izewanfo, and that's Talking Figures for today. See you again next week. Of course, we do this every Wednesday, 2 p.m. And if you missed this one, you can catch the full show on Facebook at Nigeria Info PH and also on YouTube.
Democracy is the free